Welcome to the Mount Pleasant Podcast, featuring discussions and interviews about the people, places, and events that make Mount Pleasant such a special place.
This is the Mount Pleasant Podcast. I'm your host, Brian Cleary, and all thanks to the great people of Mount Pleasant Magazine, I get the honor and the privilege of introducing you to Mount Pleasant, the people who make it such a special place to do business, to work, and even to live. We're introducing you to Mount Pleasant's best on the Mount Pleasant Podcast. The biggest concert event of 2022, without a doubt, Sir Elton John at Credit One Stadium on Daniel Island. Mount Pleasant Magazine was giving away some tickets to the big show, and we're fortunate enough to have the ticket winners, and I'm so jealous because I didn't get to go to the show, but these folks did. Sandy and Sandy Niedojadlo, thanks so much for joining the Mount Pleasant Podcast.
Oh, thanks for having us.
Our pleasure. Thank you for having us.
Thank you, Brian.
Well, let's start here. Had you ever seen Elton John in concert before?
Actually, 10 years ago in Vegas, I was there on a software conference, and it was his $1 million piano tour. And Sandy came out. We saw him at Caesar's Palace, saw him on a Thursday night, and we hadn't seen him since.
Yeah, that was an amazing show, and I thought I'd never get to see him again. I thought we were one and done. And then all of a sudden, I get a great phone call saying, you won these tickets. So we were really happy.
Lifetime fans, hadn't been able to see him for years, and this was huge for us.
Well, that's always got to be the best part of any phone call you make, when you can call somebody and say, hey, we've got these tickets for you. So how did that phone call come about? You just picked up and there it was?
Yeah, pretty much. We got this call from Stacy from Mount Pleasant Magazine, and I actually had to call her back because I was in the middle of my busy day slinging wieners on the streets of Charleston. And I called her back and I went, Mount Pleasant Magazine, what could that be? And I happened to be in the car.
Right. We had just left Second Sunday. Sandy was slinging dogs on the street. We were just approaching the Ravenel Bridge. Sandy finally had time to call Stacy back. We didn't know Stacy, but we knew Mount Pleasant Magazine. And deep down, I was hoping it was about the tickets, but we were not 100% sure.
Yeah.
Right.
And so she was on speakerphone. We were on speakerphone. And once she gave us the word, we kind of flipped out, maybe scared her a little bit because we were just over the moon. We had been wanting to go quite badly, but the price point was well beyond what we could afford because those tickets started quite high. Mm-hmm. So when this happened, it all came to fruition and was fantastic.
We were psyched. Yes, we were psyched.
Well, we're going to jump to the Elton John concert in 1 second, but I'm too intrigued now. You're slopping dogs as part of Second Sunday. So you run New Dog Charleston. Sandy, explain to everybody what New Dog Charleston is.
Correct. I'm a small business owner here in Mount Pleasant, and I own a hot dog cart. I'm a mobile vendor, which means I move from place to place and sell my hot dogs with all the fixings, chili, coleslaw, sauerkraut. And I'm mostly downtown, but I also have a couple great spots downtown, which are my go-tos, like at MUSD and College of Charleston. And then I also do the Mount Pleasant Farmers Market. So I'm there every Tuesday. And places like Second Sunday on King Street and festivals and private events and so forth. So yeah.
So hot dogs go with the dogs you've been showing us. I believe you said that was Sir Charles Barkley was your dachshund?
That is correct.
Correct. We have 2 wiener dogs at home. So I tell everybody, I sling wieners all day and I cuddle with them at night.
Quite funny.
Sandy and Sandy Niedojadlo are our guests today. We are where the pages of Mount Pleasant Magazine come alive. This is the Mount Pleasant Podcast. Tony and Sandy had entered to win, and we're the grand prize winners of Sir Elton John concert tickets. September 13th, they were fortunate enough to be at Credit One Stadium on Daniel Island. So let's talk. You saw Elton John in Las Vegas. Obviously, you're fans. Give me 1 or 2 highlights of the show that you saw at Daniel Island's Credit One Stadium.
Okay. Well, what was the highlight for you? You had a lot of highlights.
Well, let me start. First, we left early because we wanted to avoid traffic. So, the 4:45 departure was quite important so we can get somewhere near the public's parking area. That's unfortunately the best place to park. We sat down. We said hello to our fellow fans on both sides of our row. The seats were fantastic. And he came out hard. And he started with Benny and the Jets. From there, he went to Philadelphia Freedom. And then he dedicated Border Song to Aretha Franklin, which was huge. So my personal favorites are Tiny Dancer and Rocket Man. And he did those right afterwards. And of course he did.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I mean, the place was electric. Everybody was on their feet and dancing. You know, he's on the video screen. And he is 75 years old. I mean, I feel like he hasn't aged a day. He looks amazing. He sounded amazing. And I think the highlight for me was the encore, because Goodbye Yellow Brick Road is my favorite Elton John song. And he did that in the encore. So
it was epic.
Yeah.
It was a huge closer.
Fantastic.
Everyone's talking about real estate. The conversation continues with Voice for Real Estate podcast. Listen and learn from the experts who call the Carolinas home. Podcast advertising gives your business a voice of authority. Be heard. Advertise on this podcast. Visit voiceforrealestate.com.
You're listening to the Mount Pleasant Podcast.
Well, you point out something pretty interesting, and I'm glad I'm able to talk to you guys about it because you do have a point of reference. Sometimes with the older artists, they don't sound as good as they once used to, and some people walk away from the show disappointed. So you'd seen Elton about a decade ago. How did the Elton of this time compare to the Elton of 10 years ago?
It was vibrant, still controlled the stage. Not as much of an orchestra, but he personally was the same. We had seen, Paul McCartney earlier this year as well. He was not the old Paul McCartney from years ago, but Elton John, he's still the same Elton John. I believe it's incredible. It's incredible.
Can I just say, and I want to speak for everyone I know who is listening and watching the podcast, that I'm getting a little annoyed here. Paul McCartney and Elton John this year. Come on, that's pretty good.
I know.
It was.
I know. How blessed are we?
It was my 55th birthday present.
Yeah.
It was just north of Charlotte. I had wanted to see Paul McCartney since Barclays in New York many years ago. And once again, tickets were completely out of our price range. And Sandy was nice enough to surprise me with those tickets. And it was pretty beautiful.
Yeah. So we're blessed to have seen two icons in 1 year, for sure.
In the presence of a Beatle and Elton John.
Yeah, that's not bad company to be keeping, that's for certain. So, Sandy, Tony, in terms of Credit One Stadium, had you been to another show there this year? Had you experienced the newly renovated stadium?
Good question. We hadn't been to the stadium since it had been renovated, and it was pretty amazing. They've done quite a great job with it. And
we were going to go earlier this year for the women's finals, but Schwantek, Ida Schwantek was supposed to play, but she had just pulled out because she just did the Miami and Florida. So that would have been our only trip this year. But in the past, we've seen Dave Matthews Band and a few others over the years. But I was impressed. I can't believe how beautiful it came out.
It really is. It's gorgeous.
And even the
sound quality.
Sound quality was incredible. Even the grab and go, because they had pig and swine. We were able to grab a couple of chicken salad sandwiches before the show. So it was perfect.
So you guys obviously are music lovers. You like to go see live shows, Paul McCartney, Elton John. Toss some other names around. Impress me. You also have give me some of your other favorite concerts that you've been to over the years.
I'm a huge Springsteen fan. So I have probably seen Bruce Springsteen maybe 8 to 10 times in my life. Yeah. So he's the one that whenever he's in town, I try to go. Yeah.
U2, Bruce, let me think. Kind of like
Dave Matthews.
Dave Matthews.
Fantastic too.
I guess a bunch more, but I can't think of them right now.
Well, those aren't bad names to be tossing around. Bruce Springsteen, one of the greatest live performers ever. U2, Sir Paul, Sir Elton. So now I got to ask you to rank them a little bit. Where does this Elton John concert fall in terms of, hey, the shows that we've seen, the guys we've loved, the bands that we've seen? Where do you rank Elton?
He's definitely in our top 5 of all time, I would say. Absolutely. I mean,
top 3 for me.
Yeah.
Top 3.
So let's pretend I was the person sitting next to you at the Elton John show on Daniel Island, Credit One Stadium there on September 13th. You're excited to be there. You got your tickets thanks to Mount Pleasant Magazine. What song were you singing so loud you were just annoying that person next to you?
Okay, screaming, Saturday, 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 Saturday.
Yeah, that was the one.
Saturday. I think everybody was singing.
Well, yeah, I think everybody was into it. The whole vibe was incredible. So I don't think we really annoyed anyone, although they did. Two people to my right actually went down to get a beer during that moment, so maybe I was a little loud. I don't know. I tend to be loud. So it was definitely Saturday
night. All right. Great.
One of the best live songs that anybody can see. If you've never seen Sir Elton John in concert, he really brings the effort and the volume and the intensity to that song, which is just an amazing part of an amazing night that you guys were able to celebrate. And Sandy, let me just veer back off again, since we've got the dog there and we're talking about your cart, so people can see you mostly downtown. Do you do any private things? How can people find out about New Dog Charleston?
Oh, thanks. Yeah, we have a pretty active Instagram account. It's at New Dog Charleston, and also the same for Facebook. And I post my schedule on Street Food Finder. It's a website and an app where anyone can go on and find out where all of the mobile vendors and food trucks are in their area, and what their schedules are. So I post it there as well. But yeah, you can typically find me downtown for lunch Monday through Friday.
So what are your days and where? Because you have a specific schedule, pretty much.
Schedule. I'm on the corner of Glebe and George Street on the College of Charleston campus on Mondays and Fridays. Wednesdays and Thursdays, I am at 67 President Street, which is in the middle of the MUSC campus, if you will. And then Tuesday, I'm at the Mount Pleasant Farmers Market.
That's the great place
to. Sunday, once a month.
So yes, there's that second Sunday once a month. Mm-hmm. Patriots Point quite often.
Yep, I'll pop up there sometimes as well. Well,
it's a great place to go every Tuesday afternoon, starting at 3:30 there next to Moultrie Middle School on Coleman Boulevard, town of Mount Pleasant, Tuesday night farmers market. So you can grab fresh fruits and vegetables. You can grab that local shrimp, as well as grabbing a great dog. So you got to give me a hint. I love hot dogs, making them myself. Give me something. Give me a tip that my dogs will be better next time because Sandy told me to.
What's the secret? I mean, I steam mine. I start with a good quality all beef kosher hot dog, and steam them to perfection, just till they get a little plump. And then, you just smother them with all the goodness. We have a homemade chili, Coney Island style chili. We have a coleslaw that's a little bit sweet. It's orange poppy seed coleslaw. And then, of course, every New Yorker's favorite, the sauerkraut and the brown mustard. Yeah, you can't go wrong.
New Yorkers, I thought that was a Mount Pleasant accent that you were showing off, but I guess not.
Yeah.
All right, so concert-wise, you've seen a lot of acts yourself. Is there still that one group, that one act that you've been missing and that you hope to see?
Oh, well, not for you, but for me, I would love to see U2. They've always been on my list to see. So I'm dying to see U2 in concert. But I don't know for you.
It's just Sir Elton, and Sir Paul. It
was Paul McCartney, and he got his wish this year. So
it's just the big names like that. I would love to see Whitney Houston, believe it or not, years ago, or someone like that. But yeah, some things I missed out on, I guess. Some icons, if you will.
Michael Jackson, never got to see him. Like the icons. Aretha.
Well, but at the end of the day, thanks to Mount Pleasant Magazine, you were able to see this icon. And so 1 to 10, where does Elton John, if you were given assigning a number to the concert, where would you give Elton?
Oh my God, a solid 10 plus.
It was 10.
Yes. Thank you.
Totally a 10.
Thank you, Mount Pleasant Magazine, for randomly choosing us to win these tickets. We were so grateful and happy to go. It was a night that we won't forget for a long time.
We're so glad that you can enjoy it and had such a great time at Credit One Stadium on Daniel Island. This is the place where the pages of Mount Pleasant Magazine come alive. We share the stories of the people, the businesses, and everything happening in Mount Pleasant a couple of times a month. As a matter of fact, here on the Mount Pleasant podcast, Sandy, Tony, Sir Charles Barkley, and there was one other pooch in there. I can't remember his name. What is that?
Heinz.
I can't forget Heinz, Sir Charles Barkley, Tony, and Sandy. Thanks so much for taking the time to join us and being a part of the Mount Pleasant podcast. And thanks for reading Mount Pleasant Magazine.
Thanks for spending your time with the Mount Pleasant podcast, your community, your podcast. Listen to past and future episodes at mountpleasantpodcast.com.